I've just received a last-minute phone call from Larry, and although he's okay, there's no cause for alarm. He's having a little bit of a negative reaction to some medication that he's been taking, so he's asked me to postpone the show for today. Unfortunately, he won't be joining me. Larry will be back next week, but want to send him our best wishes. I think this is just a kind of a today only sort of stomach thing. I hope that people will go over to nicholslive.com and support Larry on there. People are watching every week, enjoying Larry's insights. I really had hoped to speak to him about the Mueller report. One of my favorite things about having Larry on the show is asking him questions about his personal firsthand history. I wanted to get some insight into what he thought with regard to how the Mueller report is being handled versus the Kenneth Starr report. Larry, as everybody knows, was pretty involved in the whole Bill Clinton impeachment, dealt with a lot of the different women who had come forward against Bill Clinton, and he's had various legal actions against the Clintons. Of course, Larry is very well known as a Clinton whistleblower, but unfortunately, he's just not feeling 100% today, so we're going to postpone. I guess by next week we'll know what's in the Mueller report. It's going to be coming out on Thursday. True Pundit is reporting this piece from the Daily Caller. The Department of Justice has announced that the redacted report will be out on Thursday. I don't know if it makes too much sense for me to kind of vamp for an hour about this. Again, the show is really about getting Larry's insights and me asking him questions and prompting him to go down the road of memory lane and tell us what he knows about the Clintons and his time there. Perhaps we'll get an opportunity to do that next week. I think most people know pretty much where I stand. And it looks like I forgot to set the stream correctly anyway, so perhaps now is a good time to end the show. I want to remind everyone that tonight we're going to have an episode of More Pain on patreon.com. So let's tune in to that at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have Michael Moore and myself discussing some explosive information. Michael hasn't even told me what it is, but Michael's going to have some insights with regard to the Julian Assange arrest. I apologize to the 15 people that are waiting. I got this call from Larry and I got all thrown off with the programming of the stream. So Larry will be back next week. I'm going to wrap up right here. I just wanted to let everyone know that there will be no show with Larry right now. I'm going to prepare for this show with Michael Moore. Everybody wants to hear about what's going on with Notre Dame, of course, and tomorrow I'll be back with David Hawkins. We're going to be discussing that. There's an interesting photo on the cover here of the Washington Post. I've been to Notre Dame a long time ago, but look at that floor there. I think people will take note of that. So don't forget to tune in tonight on patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/truepundit. We're going to have a really interesting episode of More Pain. That's the Tuesday night show with True Pundit editor Michael Moore. Michael's going to have some explosive information with regard to Julian Assange. You can also see the show on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth. And definitely want to remind people to get over there to Patreon. It's really important that you support the show. We couldn't carry on without your support. Lots of great exclusive shows. Unseen Libya with the Moriartys and Ole Damagard's Light on Conspiracies. We had a really interesting show yesterday. Ole revealed a lot of things about WikiLeaks that I did not know. Cody Snodgrass joined us once again. And of course, anybody interested in spending an evening with the Clintons, you can see it on patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth and subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth. That's the Clintons' evening there at the Beacon Theater here in New York last Thursday, April 11th. Tune in and don't miss the special moment where Howard Kaplan heckled former President Bill Clinton and was promptly ejected from the place. So again, rather than carry on, pontificating about how ridiculous it is that members of Congress want to violate the Constitution not only to spy on a candidate for President of the United States, but when that spying campaign fails to prevent Donald Trump from becoming president, they want to persist not only for the 2 years during which Robert Mueller, an individual who very probably should be investigated himself for all the things that he did when he was the FBI director, even when he's unable to turn up evidence, they want to keep hammering the president. They want to release this report because I guess they have lost confidence in Robert Mueller and the Department of Justice in the course of a day when he didn't come back with an indictment for President Trump. So now we have people in Congress and the Twitterati demanding that they have the right to sift through grand jury information and all kinds of personal information about people who were under investigation. That would almost undoubtedly include Dr. Corsi, who was with us on Sunday for a great episode of Sunday with Charles. That was Weekend at Hillary's. If you missed that, I think you should check it out. Go back into the Crowdsource the Truth archives and check out what Dr. Corsi had to say. I think it's not a matter of opinion. It doesn't matter if you love Dr. Corsi or if you dislike Dr. Corsi. You should be very concerned that the United States of America in 2019 is in a post-constitutional state where if people like Robert Mueller, Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Rod Rosenstein, if they decide they don't like you, they can come into your house. They can investigate you ad nauseum. They can force you to hire lawyers and put you into financial ruin. And basically, then you got people in Congress who are going to demand that they want to see your information. And of course, there's little doubt that that would be utilized to further smear Dr. Corsi if his personal information comes out. People can go to CorsiNation.com and support Dr. Corsi. He's got an article up there about Julian Assange being unjustly prosecuted. Got to say, I agree with that. Upon looking further into the details and reading the indictment, it seems like Julian Assange has been indicted for a crime that he's alleged to have committed in 2010, and it's a crime with a 5-year statute of limitations, so seems like a very problematic indictment on the surface. A lot of people speculating if this is something that's going to be used to bring Julian Assange back to the United States, where conceivably additional charges could be brought against him. I hope that's not the case. I'm going to sign off now. Go prepare for the show tonight with Michael Moore. That's going to be on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, and also on patreon.com/truepundit. For people just tuning in right now, Larry just called me right before we went on to say that he wasn't quite feeling well. Nothing serious, but he's unable to do the show today. So people can tune in tonight and catch tonight's episode of More Pain. If you missed it last week, get onto patreon.com and check it out. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern for More Pain.